Rockstar Games has officially confirmed that the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 will drop in early December. It's been over a decade since Grand Theft Auto 5 launched, and so it's understandable that fans are extremely anxious to play GTA 6. Unfortunately, official news on Grand Theft Auto 6 has been hard to come by, with Rockstar only just confirming the game's existence in February of last year. In February 2022, Rockstar Games officially announced Grand Theft Auto 6. Since then, Rockstar has been mostly quiet about the highly anticipated open-world game. There have been persistent rumors and massive gameplay leaks, and Rockstar finally let us know when they dropped the first trailer for the game. Rockstar has confirmed recent reports that the first GTA 6 trailer will be released in December to celebrate the company's anniversary. Rockstar Games co-founder Sam Houser took to Twitter to note how December 2023 is the 25th anniversary of the company. He thanked Rockstar's fans for their support over the years. "Without you, none of this would be possible, and we are so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us," Houser said. In 1998, Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment, and we hope that we have created games you love in our efforts to be part of that evolution. Houser's tweet thread ended with the news fans have been waiting years to hear. "We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto." Some fans may be disappointed that Houser didn't provide a specific date for when the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer will release, but it's still nice to have confirmation that it's coming in early December. What's interesting is that Houser didn't call the game Grand Theft Auto 6, instead choosing to refer to it as the next Grand Theft Auto. This could be an indication that the next Grand Theft Auto 6 will have an unexpected title, but that remains to be seen. If so, it wouldn't be the first time that a GTA has eschewed numbers. The two most notable main series examples would be Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which were the follow-ups to GTA 3. Speaking of Vice City, the massive Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks have already more or less confirmed that the new game will be returning to that iconic location. Most recently, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier revealed that Rockstar is planning to unveil Grand Theft Auto 6 next week, with a full trailer to come in December around Rockstar's 25th anniversary. Shortly afterward, Rockstar co-founder Sam Houser used the official Rockstar Twitter account to compose a short and simple tweet confirming the studio's plans to drop Grand Theft Auto 6's first trailer early in December. The tweet had since been viewed a whopping 165 million times and has garnered over 1.5 million likes. This has become the gaming tweet that got the most engagement of all time, which is even more impressive considering it doesn't even contain an image or video, and was the fourth tweet in a thread by Rockstar being poetic about its 25th anniversary. Since Rockstar's 25th anniversary is on December 10th, it's entirely possible that the studio may drop Grand Theft Auto 6's highly anticipated reveal trailer right on its own anniversary, as GTA is undoubtedly Rockstar's defining flagship franchise. As for whether a release date or window will be attached, considering it's been so long since GTA 5, development could be pretty close to wrapping up if it hasn't concluded already. A 2024 release window wouldn't be out of the question, though this isn't confirmed as of yet. However, fans may have an answer about a month from now. This year marks the Game Awards' 10th anniversary, and there's no better pull for it than Grand Theft Auto 6. Over the last 10 years, Jeff Keighley and all those involved have continued to expand and improve upon the Game Awards, to the point where it's now genuinely one of the biggest nights out of the entire year for the gaming industry. The Game Awards just continues to get better and better every year, and the last show definitely proved that it was on the right track, striking an excellent balance between game announcements and performances and giving the games industry its time to shine on its own. If Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be revealed in early December, then the most obvious place for it is the Game Awards, taking place on December 7th. And while it's the most obvious option, it's also the one that makes the most sense and is probably for the best. The Game Awards has become an unmissable night for anyone even remotely interested in the gaming industry, and it would be a win-win for all parties involved. Keighley would get to show off GTA 6 for the very first time, and Rockstar would have millions of eyes on its game instantly, with last year's Game Awards achieving over 100 million concurrent viewers. On the other hand, Rockstar does have a habit of just announcing and unveiling its games on Twitter. Where most huge franchises like to tease their next entries via E3, Summer Games Fest, or the Game Awards, Rockstar tends to just drop a trailer onto the internet rather unceremoniously. But Grand Theft Auto 6 is bigger than any past Rockstar game, and if Rockstar was going to break the mold and roll out the red carpet with any title, it would be this one. GTA 6 is going to be the biggest gaming launch of all time, and the hype is just at an all-time high. I'm specifically interested in the story mode and how much there is to do in that world. Hopefully Tommy Vercetti makes a cameo. With the occasion of celebrating the 2023 N7 Day, the official Mass Effect YouTube channel posted a mysterious video titled N7 Day 2023 Epsilon, sparking speculation about Mass Effect 4. N7 Day is celebrated annually on November 7th, honoring the Mass Effect franchise. It involves BioWare reflecting on the series, unveiling new hints and merchandise, and engaging with fans. BioWare and EA continued the N7 Day tradition this year, announcing new items for the BioWare Gear Store and a partnership with Humble Bundle and Dark Horse. A binary code in the announcement led to a cryptic Mass Effect 4 teaser. The brief 5-second-long video is titled N7 Day 2023 Epsilon, and has sparked speculation that it is linked to the upcoming Mass Effect 4. This year, BioWare and EA continued the N7 tradition through the creation of a new blog post where they announced new items for their BioWare Gear Store as well as a partnership with Humble Bundle and Dark Horse. Curiously, throughout the post, many ones and zeros were sprinkled inside several words, and when all of them were put inside a binary translator, it resulted in the word epsilon. When epsilon is added at the end of EA's website URL, a cryptic Mass Effect 4 teaser can be found. In the short video, pounding footsteps can be heard as an ominous, dark figure is seen walking through what looks to be a warehouse. Eagle-eyed fans have been scanning the recent Mass Effect 4 teaser for any possible clues about the next game, and some have noticed an interesting throwback to the franchise's early days. 3 years after the divisive Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare officially announced a new installment in its renowned sci-fi RPG franchise during the Game Awards 2020. Not much was revealed during this cryptic first look, save that Mass Effect 4 would see the return of fan-favorite squad mate Liara at Sony following the end of the original trilogy. The Mass Effect fandom has since been awash in speculation about the currently titled Mass Effect 4, combing over not only the original announcement trailer, but any piece of social media from BioWare for hints about the sequel's plot, setting, and returning characters. Even more fuel was added to this debate during N7 Day, a holiday named for the insignia worn by original series protagonist Commander Shepard during the first 3 Mass Effect games. This year's N7 Day saw the release of another cryptic Mass Effect 4 teaser, featuring a mysterious figure walking down a hallway while a mass relay is seemingly being rebuilt outside. The Mass Effect Epsilon teaser has naturally re-sparked the speculation and debate surrounding Mass Effect 4, with dedicated fans going over the brief clip repeatedly in search of any new information. The Mass Effect News Twitter account was among the first to point this out, posting an image from BioWare's Stories and Secrets from 25 Years of Game Development book showing unused Mass Effect working titles and logos. One of these is the Epsilon Effect, and the fact that the latest Mass Effect 4 teaser also has the word Epsilon in it has not gone unnoticed. It isn't clear exactly what this apparent reference means in the grand scheme of things, but it isn't the only detail in the Mass Effect teaser that viewers have picked up on. Fans quickly noticed a group of familiar Mass Effect aliens in the background of the trailer, suggesting that the synthetic Geth and fish-like Angara might appear in Mass Effect 4. This in itself has huge ramifications for Mass Effect 4's story, as the Angara only recently made their debut in Mass Effect Andromeda, and the Geth might have been wiped from the Milky Way depending on the player's choices at the end of Mass Effect 3. The latest N7 Day saw BioWare release more potential teasers for the highly anticipated next game in the popular sci-fi franchise. Most notably, BioWare released a brief Mass Effect teaser trailer that showed an unknown character walking. BioWare's Michael Gamble also posted a new Mass Effect poster that could potentially be teasing the return of the Angaran and Geth races. The poster shows a Mass Effect character mixed with a club scene. Zooming in on the scene, as Twitter user Lazare has done, seems to show a Geth and Angara mingling with a Solarian, a human, and an Asari. Depending on which Mass Effect 3 ending one got, the Geth shouldn't necessarily be alive at all. As far as the Angara go, they are native to the Andromeda Galaxy and shouldn't be in the Milky Way. If this is a teaser for the new Mass Effect, it could suggest that Angara have made their way to the Milky Way and that the Mass Effect 3 endings where the Geth survived are canon. Answers about all of Mass Effect 4's returning races likely won't come for quite some time. BioWare's next game is Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and unless the studio has a Surprise Me 4 trailer to drop at the Game Awards, it's likely fans won't hear more substantial information about the game until 2024 or later. There are still many unanswered questions surrounding Mass Effect 4, namely about where it takes place in the series timeline and if Commander Shepard is returning, as many are already theorizing. The use of the word Epsilon in the latest teaser's title is one such question, especially since it calls back to one of the series' original working titles. Perhaps Mass Effect Epsilon is the official title for Mass Effect 4, but players will likely have to wait until next year's N7 Day for more clues about the next chapter in BioWare's epic sci-fi franchise. This isn't the only time BioWare revealed a teaser about its next Mass Effect game on N7 Day. In 2022, a 25-second long clip was posted on Twitter, featuring what looked to be the reconstruction of a mass relay. Mass relays were the crowning achievement of Prothean engineering, as they were used for almost instantaneous mass transit for spaceships across the galaxy. However, when Commander Shepard triggered the Crucible at the end of Mass Effect 3, the mass relays sustained severe damage, rendering them useless. Many gamers are eagerly anticipating the release of Mass Effect 4 and are hoping to reunite with some of the beloved characters from the original trilogy. Some fans are even speculating on the possibility of Commander Shepard's return from the dead. Until the game's actual release, BioWare is doing a great job of steadily building anticipation among fans by gradually releasing peculiar teasers about the next Mass Effect game. A newly surfaced rumor claims that From Software is currently developing a PlayStation 5 exclusive. The leak thus implies that the Elden Ring maker is working on its first PlayStation-only game since its PSVR exclusive Deraisen released to mixed reception in 2018. Following its humble beginnings as a PlayStation-focused developer in the 90s, From Software started alternating between different platform exclusives in the early noughts. As the Japanese studio kept growing, it also started consistently tackling multi-platform projects come 2010. That trend has only been ramping up ever since, as underlined by the fact that 8 of the 11 From Software games released in the last decade were multi-platform titles. Nevertheless, From Software is now said to be working on its first-ever PS5 exclusive, according to Leaker Brazil, which several media outlets identified as an alias of Vergeben or Das Vergeben, a known industry insider best known for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate scoops. Reset-era user Guarana was the first to relay this claim, attributing it to Brazil's recent live stream. According to Guarana's recollection of the purported broadcast, Brazil speculated that From Software's PS5 exclusive won't be a sequel to Deraisen, not least because they heard no mentions of that game since its release. Instead, the insider opined that the project in question is much more ambitious in scope than From Software's 2018 PSVR exclusive. On that note, the leaker reportedly said they found no indication that the mysterious PS5 title is related to Bloodborne, the studio's last big PlayStation exclusive which released back in 2015. The game's development reportedly started in early 2020, as per the same source. Regardless of whether the Dark Souls maker actually has a PS5 exclusive in the pipeline, there is no doubt that From Software is presently working on some unannounced games. Specifically, a new hiring spree started by the studio in late October offered a strong indication that From Software nowadays has multiple new projects in the works. A PS5 exclusive from them, either it is a sequel to Bloodborne or a new IP, is exiting one way or another. According to a new rumor, a spin-off standalone half-sequel to God of War Ragnarok will get revealed by the end of this year. God of War Ragnarok was a commercial success, selling over 11 million copies within the first 3 months of its launch. It originally sold an already impressive 5.1 million copies in its debut weekend for 5 days, setting a new sales record for the franchise and PlayStation as a whole. As reported by Insider Gaming, and originally leaked by Aria Jogomes, the announcement of God of War Ragnarok spin-off will be made by the end of 2023, with the Game Awards being the most likely event for this reveal. According to the leak, this God of War Ragnarok expansion will be a standalone title like God of War Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus, but not much else is known about the content at the moment. Rumors about God of War Ragnarok getting an expansion have been circulating for a few months, as this information was leaked by the Snitch in August. According to the Snitch, it was already 60% done back then, so it looks like the development team has been working on it for some time. A reveal at the Game Awards seems likely, as Sony has announced new titles at this show in the past. Last year, Sony revealed Horizon Forbidden West's Burning Shores DLC at the Game Awards, with Death Stranding 2 also getting announced at the event. So, assuming God of War Ragnarok's expansion will get revealed this year, the Game Awards is probably the best place to showcase it. It'll be interesting to see if Kratos shows up in this DLC, but some fans may expect it to be centered around Atreus. While gamers do get to play as Atreus in God of War Ragnarok, his moveset is fairly limited, so a standalone expansion would allow the developers to give him a more extensive skill tree. I'm having mixed feelings about playing as young Atreus, and the storytelling that can go along with it. The next God of War game could be further along than anyone could have guessed, and it might involve a major creative figure from past games. While Santa Monica Studio has stated that last year's God of War Ragnarok is the final chapter in Kratos' Norse saga, its ending does leave a few narrative plot threads open for a future installment, with either Kratos returning in yet another mythical land or his son Atreus stepping into the lead role on his own quest to uncover the truth behind his giant heritage. There was already speculation of another God of War game even before Ragnarok launched on the PlayStation 5 last winter, as Santa Monica Studio reportedly started hiring for another project several months prior. A major clue might be found in the LinkedIn page for Ariel Lawrence, a game director who has been a part of the God of War series as far back as the PlayStation 2 era. She initially served as an assistant producer and writer for God of War 2 and God of War 3 before stepping into the role of producer for 2013's God of War Ascension. Lawrence then departed Santa Monica Studio to work as a writer for Riot Games, where she helped craft the narratives for League of Legends and 2 animated Tales of Runeterra short films. Lawrence eventually returned to Santa Monica Studio as a writer in July 2021 before starting work as a game director the following April, around the same time that Santa Monica reportedly started hiring staff for its post-God of War Ragnarok project. While she was listed in the credits for 2018's God of War Reboot 4, additional development support, she doesn't appear to have worked on God of War Ragnarok in any capacity. This suggests that she has been instead working on Santa Monica's mystery game, and given her pedigree this project is likely something big if she is indeed involved. Of course, none of this confirms that Ariel Lawrence is working on Santa Monica Studios' next game or that said game is any kind of follow-up to God of War Ragnarok. But it certainly wouldn't be outside her wheelhouse given her experience writing and producing the PS3-era titles like God of War 3 and Ascension. Fans will still have to keep their eyes peeled for any official news regarding the next God of War game, as rumors suggest that Kratos could return to the PS5 sooner rather than later. There are several plot points that Santa Monica can expand on if it spends more time within this mythology, as opposed to leaving certain questions unanswered. Perhaps the biggest thing that fans are wondering about is who blew the horn to summon the world serpent in the original game. God of War Ragnarok does not answer this, and if the series jumped to another mythology, it could never get the chance to do so. Sticking with the Norse era for this smaller in-between game gives Santa Monica one more chance to provide that answer. Whether it was Baldur, Kratos' use of Gjallarhorn echoing through time, or a time-traveling Loki trying to make sure that all happens as it should, answers about the Hornblower are long overdue. Beyond that, there are a few key characters that could be explored further through another Norse game. Though Angrboda following her partner Atreus to a new world would make sense, Thrud is clearly happy in her homeland. Additionally, Sindri's story should be concluded before moving to a new setting, as his current ending is devastating. Whether Sindri fights Atreus to the death or manages to forgive him, closure for the once-loving dwarf would certainly be welcome. Instead of just doing a time jump and showing Kratos, Atreus, or both in an Egyptian God of War setting, or some other mythology, Santa Monica can set up the transition a bit more smoothly. While skipping ahead to an older Kratos worked for the Norse saga, as his fate at the end of God of War 3 was left uncertain if you don't read the comics, it could feel repetitive and unearned if another time skip was used. The end of a God of War Ragnarok half-sequel can explicitly state where the heroes are going next, with Kratos setting out on another peacekeeping mission to continue redeeming himself, or Atreus making a discovery that requires him to leave the Norse lands behind. Having one more game before Atreus becomes a proper adult could help from a gameplay perspective as well. If he receives his own game via this heavily rumored God of War project, he could have a chance to develop more of his Loki powers. Players could acquire a few more transformations for him ahead of the next major God of War title, as well as a few other abilities that would suit a God of Mischief. Atreus is in need of a proper melee weapon, too, as Ingrid is gone and was not used like a traditional sword anyway. Perhaps Faye could even reach out to Atreus to provide some important lessons after death, making him an even more formidable god. But you cannot name a game God of War, with Atreus as the main protagonist. It should be more like Loki the God of Mischief. This standalone title can be a prequel, exploring more into how Kratos got into Midgard from Greece, or a game focused on Tyr or Faye. I would rather take those. For Atreus, it is better for him to give him his own standalone series branching from God of War, named Loki. Just cut his childhood and teenage part, and go right into the adult Loki with the next game focused on him. We are just a month away from the Game Awards, and it should be interesting to see where God of War goes next. And that's all for the video guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then from SMPV, it's goodbye.